Dee Evans, whose pronouns are she or they, is our guest minister today. It's good to see you all, whether you're new friends, longtime members, or returning folks. And I hope that you will all take the time at coffee hour to reach out to someone new and say hello and offer them welcome. We welcome everyone to this home of comfort, spirit, and justice and hope. We are Unitarian Universalists. Please take this time to settle in and enter into calm as we listen to Joy Have play our prelude. An important ritual in Unitarian Universalist faith is the lighting of our chalice. Unitarian Universalists have many different interpretations of the flaming chalice, including the light of reason, the warmth of community, and the flame of hope. If you are watching elsewhere and have a chalice or candle, please light it now as we join in saying the unison words projected on the screen. And Ramona is lighting our chalice today. Okay. We light this chalice today as a symbol of love and revelation, always ongoing, always expanding. We light this chalice in hope for the future of our church, our community, our country, and our world. May love enter us always.
For our opening prayer, we turn to the words of Rebecca Savage. We gather together today with the sacred intention to declare that justice is our prayer. We affirm in covenant with that beloved community that is possible, yet not quite here, yet not quite right. The seeds have been planted time and again, and we remember all those who went before us, who made the beloved community a dream that could be realized. Justice is our prayer. May our time of worship and service together continue to water the budding trees of our diverse interdependence. May our time of worship give air and nourishment to the to the parts of our collective spirits that need to grow and thrive, that embrace equity as a known way of being. Justice is our prayer. We affirm in covenant with the beloved community that this is possible. May it be so. Let us worship together.
I invite you all to take a moment and greet someone you do not know as well this morning, and make a new connection with someone you can get to know over coffee hour. Then we will begin to sing our first hymn, Meet Each Other. All right, let's please rise in body and spirit as we join in singing our first hymn projected on the wall. It's in our teal hymnal, number 1018, Come and Go With Me.
It is a tradition in this congregation to place the service within the context of our larger Unitarian Universalist values that are in our bylaws. This week, we're going to lift up two values, interdependence and justice. I will read these briefly because I'm going to talk about them later in our service. Interdependence, we honor the interdependent web of all existence with reverence for the great web of life, and with humility, we acknowledge our place in it. Justice, the other value, is we work to be a diverse, multicultural, beloved communities where all thrive. As part of our weekly service, we take the time for the expression of joys, concerns, or sorrows. If you would like to recognize a joy, sorrow, concern milestone, come forward and place stones in the water bowl to represent your joys and sorrows. There are stones right here, and I invite you to come across to my left and come that way, and then come across, take a stone, and then put it in the bowl and turn to your right. When you do this, you are choosing a stone and placing it in the water as a symbol of what you carry in your heart. Then, if you cannot come up here, just raise your hand and someone will come and place a stone for you. Let us be in a spirit of prayer and meditation as we do this. You can start, whatever wants to start, come up that way. going to put a stone in the bowl for our congregation, and I'm going to put a stone in the bowl for all of our Metro East area, and then we will have a moment of silence. It is now time for our story for all ages. It was Saturday morning when Lucy and Lance heard their dad announce, "I'm going to the warehouse to pick up our new patio furniture." "Can I go with you?" asked Lance. "Me too," chimed in Lucy. Their father looked thoughtful. "Well, okay." As they drove, the houses changed from single-family homes and nice apartments to mostly 2 and 3 flats. As they went further, the kids noticed some houses had boarded up windows. Empty lots had high weeds and abandoned furniture and abandoned cars. "Why does it look so junky here?" asked Lucy. "Mom says I'm lazy when I don't clean my room." "Are these people lazy?" asked Lance. Their father explained, "A lot of people would say the people who live here are lazy, but really they are very hard-working people who don't make a lot of money. And because they don't make a lot of money, they can only afford to live here, and the landlords don't take care of the property." "But the apartments by us are owned by landlords, because I heard Jerry talk about his landlord. And their property isn't junky." "Well," their dad began, "the people in our neighborhood pay a lot of money to rent, and the people here don't have a lot of money. They don't have the money to move out of here, and the landlords know it, so they don't care." "Well, why don't they just get better jobs?" asked Lance. His father said, "To get a good job, a lot of things have to happen, Lance. You have to have a computer to apply for a job. You have to know how to use the computer. You have to have a car to get to a job interview. If you didn't get a good education or have someone teach you what you need to know to have a good job, you can't get a better job." Lance looked thoughtful. "I bet their parents didn't make them take part of their birthday money and put it away for college." "You got the idea, Lance," their dad said. "To get good housing and good jobs, a lot of things have to happen, and it didn't happen for these people." Lucy blurted out, "That's not fair." And her father said, "When things aren't fair, we call that injustice." People try to make it fair, and when we try to make it fair, we call that social justice. But here we are already, and we have to pick up our furniture. When we get home, we can talk about what you can do to make it fair. And so I leave all of you to think about ways this week that we can make it fair. Let's sing our children out as they go to their RE classes. Please remain seated while we sing number 1024, "When the Spirit Says Do," in the Teal hymnal, or as projected on our screen. I'm here in two roles this morning. One is I am a congregant of this congregation. The second role is my affiliation with the Unitarian Universalist Advocacy Network of Illinois, which organizes congregations for social justice. And I'm appointed to this congregation as your catalyst. So those are my roles, and I am speaking as your catalyst this morning. If I were to pull out my phone and scroll down the news feed, I would read item after item after item describing all the social injustices going on in our country today. It becomes discouraging and overwhelming. Our reaction is the typical fight or flight, but neither of these would be effective in our country at this time. The best response to this discouraging and overwhelming situation is to respond with effective social injustice interventions. So what I want to share with you today are the lessons I learned from social justice teachers. What works, what is effective, and what is not. Now, none of these lessons are earth-shaking. You may know them, but in times such as this, repeating the basics helps. It helps because it lowers our feelings of desperation about what is going on. Then I will share with you why this basic information is important to us as Unitarian Universalists. So let us begin. One of the first lessons I learned is that social justice can be divided into two broad categories: social action and social advocacy. Social action is hands-on. It is things like stocking the food pantry, handing out the food, going to a school and reading to the children, or helping them with their homework, cleaning up the river, making a meal for somebody, helping a person get benefits. You get the idea. It's working directly with people who are the victims of injustice. Now I heard it said, oh, that's the difference between giving a person a fish to eat and teaching them to fish. No, it isn't. Because teaching a person to fish is still hands-on. Now, the other broad category of social justice is social advocacy. Social advocacy is taking a systems approach to social justice. It can be finding out why the injustice exists, helping to write a law or to change the injustice, or organizing people to change the system. It can be working with senators or representatives or local government officials or a business to address the injustice. This is a systems approach to injustice. Why is this distinction important? Well, usually people who are social justice advocates prefer one type of social justice as compared to the other. Before volunteering for anything, ask yourself, what type of social justice do you want to engage in? Do you like working directly with people? Or do you prefer to look at a system and try to change it? It is not that one is more important than the other. They're both needed. Most people who like working directly with people are absolutely miserable working trying to change the system. And people who like changing the system find themselves totally frustrated with the hands-on approach. So when you volunteer, if you volunteer for the wrong thing, you will drop out. So know yourself and volunteer for what you love doing. The second lesson I learned from my mentors in social justice is to be very clear if you are doing social action or social advocacy, if you are a committee head. So if you start a committee, make your goal clear and precise, and if possible, put it in one sentence. And make sure you do not combine both in one committee. That can lead to disaster. It can lead to disaster because these two types of social justice attract very different people. And trying for one committee to do it all usually doesn't work. It is better to have two separate committees. For example, one committee may have a goal to stand outside a clinic so that those seeking reproductive justice can enter the clinic safely. That committee engages in social action. They're working directly with the people who want to seek justice. Okay, another committee may have the goal of changing the laws to ensure that all people have the autonomy to decide their own reproductive freedom. This is social advocacy. Both of these committees are engaging in justice work about the same issue, but in very different ways. So the lesson is, be very clear what your committee is doing. A related issue is knowing how to do one-to-ones. Let me explain why we do one-to-ones, and then I'll explain what it is. A common belief, and one I used to hold, is that if there is a good idea, people will follow it. That's a misconception. People do not follow ideas. They follow people. Have you ever joined a group that you were really interested in, and then left it because you didn't feel you fit in with the people? We are all like that, including those who join social justice committees. If we don't fit in, no matter how good the idea is, we're going to leave. So as a leader, how can you avoid having people leave your committees? Learn to do one-to-ones. There's training. The first training I got was by a group that was very confrontational. I couldn't do it. The second one I got was in the Unitarian Universalist Advocacy Network of Illinois. And it was very gentle, very relational. And what are you going to do in these one-to-ones as a leader? What you're going to do is find out what the other person's passion is. Where are they going in social justice? Now, if you have a committee and their passion is, your committee's passion is here, but their passion is over there, let them go. Let them go follow their passion. You might even recommend another committee or another place they can go. Don't try to pull people in, if you're a social justice leader, to where their passion doesn't really reside. They may agree your idea is good, but it's not their passion. Now, if their passion aligns with your committee, the second thing you want to learn in your one-to-one is, are they hands-on or are they social justice advocates? And make sure that fits with your committee, because you don't, again, want to recruit people and make them unhappy in the committee they're in. It's better if your committee's social advocacy and you know a hands-on committee, it's better to suggest that they can go someplace where they will be happy, and the opposite is also true. So a one-to-one is to learn what a person's passion is, and to learn whether their passions align with your committee. Now, some people believe you only need to learn to do one-to-ones if you're a social justice leader. I don't believe that. Every one of our committees needs volunteers. If everyone on your committee knows how to do one-to-ones, then they can help you recruit people for your committee. And they can figure out, even though that this person is my best friend and I would love for this person to be on our committee, their passion isn't the same as mine. So you don't recruit that person. But on the other hand, if you find out that your passions for social justice align, then invite them to a committee meeting. So I believe everyone should know how to do one-to-ones. Another lesson I learned in doing social justice is that numbers are important. When I was working at my first job, the union wanted members at a protest, and they really pushed to get us there. And when you work for the state, you don't just decide you're going to go to a protest. You have to take a vacation day. Okay, so it costs you something to go to a protest. But if we did not go, we would be going 6 years with no wage increase. So many of us went. Now, the protest was held at the Illinois State House. That State House has a spiral staircase. And when we first walked in the building, the first floor was filled up. Everybody in their green union shirts, and I'll get to shirts later. And then more people came in, and the second staircase and balcony, and then the third staircase, all the way up to the top, till you could see nothing but green shirts. And then they had to close the building because of fire codes. You can only let so many people in. So the people that were outside circled the outside of the building, and no matter where you looked, you saw green shirts. And then you heard it. What do we want? The union leader would ask, and we would shout back, fair wages. It resonated inside and outside of the building, and those Congress people noticed, their aides noticed, and we won our contract, and I believe it was over sheer numbers. That's my union, okay?
That's my union too.
Yes. But numbers are important in another way. For example, let's say you're going to go protest at your local congressman or representative's office. If you're going to be outside of the building, you want tons of numbers. You want a lot of people there, okay? Don't block the access to the building, but have people there. However, if you are ever meeting with a government official or a business leader, because you may do social justice in regard to a business, do not bombard their office with people. They will be very annoyed. The largest number you should bring in is 5 people. That's the most. The rest should wait outside, not in their waiting room, because they want other people to be able to get in their waiting room. So you have to know when to have large numbers and when to have small numbers. Now and by the way, make sure if you're meeting with government officials or with business leaders, make sure you have an appointment. Okay, another social justice lesson is that it is your responsibility to remain civil, calm, and non-reactive. Now, this is true even if you are doing an educational protest. Some of you, if you've ever been to Elliott Unitarian Chapel in Kirkwood, Missouri, every Tuesday they're standing out front doing some kind of educational protest. Sometimes unions will stand in front of their workplace and do an educational protest. Okay. If you are meeting in a business and you're going to protest in front of that business, remain calm, civil, and non-reactive. In other words, swear words, cruel gestures, name calling, shouting back at protesters protesting your protest are all totally unacceptable. Now, to tell you how unacceptable they are, whenever I go to a union rally, they will tell us, if you do these things, our security will remove you. That's how serious this is. You must remain civil, calm, and non-reactive. Now, if you're meeting with a representative, a senator, a business leader, they have people who prepare realms of information for them. So if you think you're going to argue back and forth, every time you have an argument, they will come back with another one. And if, when they come back with one, it might be a misrepresentation or an outright lie, whatever you do, remain what? Calm, civil, and non-reactive. Don't do one of these eye roll kinds of things. Don't, when they say something, they're looking at you and you turn off to the side like, yeah, sure. Do not snicker with somebody you're in the office with. Remain civil, calm, and non-reactive. Now, they may even try to provoke you, but remember the burden is on you to what? Remain civil, calm, and non-reactive. How do you do that? The key is to have a clear message, and this is another lesson I learned. Know what you want and state it positively. Know what you want and state it positively, and keep coming back to that message. I use the union a lot because they are good protesters, but I've also watched the people who stand in front of Elliott Chapel. They just simply repeat the message repeatedly while they're smiling, and people drive by and some give them rude gestures, and they just repeat the message. So if you're ever in some place, make sure you know your message, have it prepared ahead of time, make it positive, and repeat it. Now, I'll give you an example. Suppose you're meeting with a corporation that rents apartments, and the apartments have leaky plumbing and don't have any fire alarms. Now, if you go in saying, you don't have any leaky plumbing and you don't have fire alarms in your apartment, you're telling them something they already know. So what you want to tell them is, we want the leaky plumbing fixed and fire alarms installed in the next 30 days. You're answering two questions. What do you want? That's very important. The second question is, when do you want it by? So whenever you're protesting, whenever you're meeting with government officials or business leaders, know what you want, keep it positive, and know when you want it. Another lesson to learn is you do not have to form committees in this church to do everything. It's simply impossible. But the problem becomes in churches is one person's interested in reproductive justice, another person is interested in fair wages, another person is interested in women's rights, another person is interested in LGBTQ, and you can't possibly in a small church. And did you know the average church, UU church, is 150 people and under? You cannot possibly have all those committees. So the next lesson I learned is partner with the organizations in your community that share the same values. We can't put a food pantry in, but you know what? We can partner with a local food pantry. We cannot help women with reproductive rights, but we can go to Planned Parenthood and partner with them. So partner, partner, partner. The last lesson I want to share with you is advertise. Now that may sound strange, but I truly mean that. When I did my internship at Abraham Lincoln, which is a very active congregation, not huge, not as huge as the one I worked with in Missouri, but it's big and active. Every place I go in Springfield, people knew about that congregation. People here knew about that congregation. Now, what in the world? How does everybody know about these people? The church is on the edge of Springfield. It's not centrally located. You don't even drive by it. You can go almost any place in Springfield and miss the church building. Then how can they be known all over Springfield? Let me tell you how. And somebody told me this. They wear those, and I'm going to say it the way it was said to me, they wear those damn shirts. And that's true. When I was there and we went to a Planned Parenthood rally, guess what we had to wear? When we went to a rally on education and suspending more Afro-American people, guess what we had to wear? So no matter what they do, when they do it, if they go to volunteer and walk somebody into a clinic for reproductive health, guess what they wear? That's why everybody knows Abraham Lincoln works in social justice. And you know what? Abraham Lincoln doesn't provide the shirts. The members pay for them themselves. These are the lessons that I learned from all my mentors. First, know the difference between social action and social advocacy. Make sure you know what your committee is doing, whether it's advocacy or action. Learn to do one-to-one. Learn the importance of numbers. Remember, it is our responsibility to remain civil, calm, and non-reactive. Have a clear message. Know what you want and when you want it. Partner, 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 and wear those t-shirts. So why are these lessons important? We have a hymn that Joy played while we were doing the Stones. It's called Spirit of Life. That hymn is part of my theology. I believe we all share the same spirit of life. I do not call that spirit of life God. I can't even begin to explain God. I don't use the word. And I'm not saying that you should not believe in God. It's just that the whole concept in my theology, it confuses me. So I stay simple, spirit of life. Sometimes I call it the beloved mystery, but I don't know what it is. I can't find an answer anyplace to what it is. The closest I came to was in seminary. I went to Eden Theological Seminary, which is Webster Groves, Missouri, and it's a progressive Christian seminary. The first year of seminary, they say they deconstruct your theology. That's just a nice way of saying they challenge every single belief you had or ones you don't even remember that you had. You're what they call embedded theology. Everything is challenged. It's like pulling the rug out from under you. But then the next 2 years are spent building up. What do you think? What is your system of belief? What are you bringing to your congregation? So they have an actual class called constructive theology. And there was a young man in there who was very, very, very frustrated with the professor. And brilliant person. And he kept trying all semester to get her to define God. Who is God? I want you to tell me. She wouldn't do it. And then she'd go through all the different beliefs about God, from Buddha to Allah to the Christian God, and just stand there and spout them. He kept getting more frustrated during the semester till finally he relentlessly would not stop during one class. Now, when I taught, things were very different. You did not treat a professor like that, but this is a different age. And I admire anyone who can teach today. But when she finally stood there one day, and she just kind of looked ahead, and she said, God is relation. God is relation. Now, I don't know if that's true, but when I think of our spirit of life, come to me and give me compassion. What does that mean? Compassion for who? For other people. That's relationship. That's relation. At the same time in that class, and I remember that class very distinctly, the whole concept of our principle, because it was our principle at that time, now it's our value, of interdependence popped up. Wow. We're in a web of existence that is interdependent. And I don't need religion to tell me that, because science tells me that. And if we are in relation, and if we are interdependent, I don't know how we can live with injustice and do nothing. I don't get how that is possible. I don't know if there is a God out there somewhere. There may be. What I do know, at least for me, and this may not be true for you, is that there is a spirit of life that holds us in relationship to one another. And that relationship is the interdependent web of existence. And that makes these lessons in social justice important, because that's how we're going to protect and hold in reverence that interdependent web. Now, our value of justice says we work to be a diverse, multicultural, beloved community where we all thrive. While we are in an interdependent universe, we're also in a very diverse universe. That's diverse no matter if you're looking at a little tiny weed or if you're looking at an animal or a human being. Just think about dogs. How many kinds of dogs are there? How many kinds of cats? How many kinds of plants? And how many kinds of human beings? If everything is so diverse, why do you think we're an exception? We're not. So when we can create a beloved community, it is to create a world where we accept that diversity and don't just accept it, we invite it, because that's what we mean to be relationships, be in relationships in the spirit of life. If we're that way, all of the world will thrive. If we enter into hate, we allow injustice to persist, then we are actually killing that interdependent web, and in fact, killing ourselves. That is our choice. And as you use, we know what our choice is. We don't have to ask anybody. So I honor the spirit of life in me, and I honor the spirit of life in you, and I wish that all in our beloved community thrive. So may it be.
Our final hymn today is number 18 in the gray hymnal, What Wondrous Love This Is, or is this? As Robin passes around our offering basket, I offer a gentle reminder that this community of faith and support, supported by only our giving. Stewardship is more than just financial donation, but it's also about donating time, talent to help our church. If you cannot write a check, please help our church service thrive by offering your time to help make coffee or bring snacks, serve as an usher, serve on other committees such as helping with worship on occasion. Please donate as you can with your time, talent, and or treasure. All are needed to help our church to prosper.
I'm so sorry.
Also, if you give cash, please let us know who you are by filling out an envelope so we can know who is eligible to vote by giving time, talent, and treasure. However, if this is your first time, you are not obligated to give because we want this service to be your gift. If you're willing to donate your time and talent, please contact a board member like myself, Robin.
I am not on the board anymore.
Oh no, you
You
left
forgot.
us. I forgot.
5 years was good.
I know. Where was I at? And let us know what you would like to do and what you can do to help. Give what you will and what you are able, for you are generous people.
I love you.
I know. Okay, please join us in our offering prayer. May this offering equip us to inspire love and seek justice. Now we have announcements. Next week is Claudia on remote. Then we have Eden. Is that today? Yeah. We break down everything today and next week and the week after, and the week after that.
Jesse, in gathering is on the 28th. correct?
Okay.
Right, Alex?
I think so, yeah.
Yes, that's the plan with Eden, so we're gonna have potluck, picnic.
Potluck and picnic on the
And
28th.
water communion.
Oh, and water communion, my favorite. Is that it?
Not wine, Mom, I'm sorry.
Anybody want to explain what water communion is?
What's that?
Do you want to explain what water communion is?
Dee, can you do that? Can you-
Water
can you explain
communion?
what water
Yeah.
communion is?
Because
Go for it, Dee.
You bring water of the earth.
Yeah,
My mom's all about water and wine.
Years ago, they used to close down Unitarian churches over the summer. We no longer do that. And what they used to do is when they reopened in September, people would bring water from all their vacation spots. Oh, yeah. Now, let me tell you what my experience was the first time I saw that. I'm sitting there watching, and half of the congregation gets up. This was in First Unitarian Church in Alton when we were there, and they bring their water up. And the other half of the congregation does not get up because they didn't go on some kind of vacation. It was very classist. So we no longer do water communion that way. Now we bring it, you bring your water, whatever is special to you. It could even be, like me, the water from my kitchen that is clean because it's filtered. So that's water communion. And when we put all our water together in a bowl, we learn that we are indeed one, because you can't separate that water in the bowl. That's water communion.
Woo! Now I invite you to join me in reciting. Not yet. Oh, more announcements? Oh, we have choir rehearsal now. Yay! Next Thursday? Next Sunday. Yay! Oh yeah, Unity Fest. I am hosting the booth for us there. I need volunteers. Please, please, please contact me.
Let's set up a piece of paper out.
Yeah. We'll have a piece of paper to sign up for that.
Gotten a hold of you? 'Cause she was Allison.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you did.
Yeah, but that's from 11 to 4, so not too terribly long. And hopefully the weather will be nicer than yesterday. I closed down early yesterday because it was way too hot.
There's also a Unitarian Fry booth at Tower Grove Park that same
Sweet.
Sunday, yes. So I volunteered for that.
Nice.
All these things at the same time.
Yeah, it's supposed to be cooler.
Hopefully.
I hope
Next week is supposed to be in the 90s again.
All right, is that it? Is that all of them? All right, now we will extinguish our chalice. Please join with me in our words on the screen. The light of truth and meaning cannot be put out. We are the keepers of this flame until we meet again. To close our service, we're going to use the words of Eileen B. Krapolis. As we part from one another, let these be our thoughts. If that which is most holy lies within the human person, and if the greatest power in the world shines flickering and uncertain from each individual heart, then it is easy to see the value of human associations dedicated to nurturing that light. The couple, the family, the friends, the religious community. For the power of good in any one of us must at times waver, but when a group together is dedicated to nurturing the power of good, it is rare for the light to grow dim in all individuals at the same moment. So we borrow courage and wisdom from one another to warm us and keep us until we are together again. As we leave the sanctuary, let us be grateful to all who took their time to make this service a sacred time. Thank you to our technical team. Thank you to our worship associate, Jesse, who did a marvelous job. I try sometimes.
Yes. And to Joy Heft, who does all the slides and plays. Now, I pick the hymns, so I asked Joy, do we want to do 18 or do we want to do 50? And she said 18's easier for us to sing. but we both love the words of 50. So what she's going to do is play the prelude, postlude, and the hymn, the words will be up there. You can sing or not sing. We just want to look at the words. And then after she finishes, let's go have coffee.
Alex, go ahead. Coffee time.
Thank you, Jessie. It is so much easier.
Isn't it?
Oh, thank you.
That's our goal.